You have one main rehearsal space. How did you find that?
That was really hard, actually, to find a rehearsal space in New York City. We originally rehearsed when I was in school, rehearsed at Juilliard, and Juilliard was really generous to let us be around and use their facilities. As time goes on, people graduate. So, and then I lived in a warehouse in the Bronx, and we had a space up there, which is where I was living, and again, in a pretty rough neighborhood. And that was actually a tension point for the ensemble to have to go up there.
But they had a really great donut shop, so breaks were really pleasant.
Yeah, that's true.
What about coffee?
Coffee was questionable. But yeah, rehearsal space, of course, in life, especially in New York City more than anything, time and space are our biggest resources. And finding a space that allows simply music and noise to be made is nearly impossible, as it turns out, to find a commercial space. Where I was living was a residential space, and we could rehearse there. But the space that we ended up in now, I looked at 50 buildings. We spent 4 months doing this. We happened to have basically a summer that we were, more or less around, and then that was the only thing I did for every day. Get up in the morning on Craigslist, go looking around buildings, calling them, asking them. The building that we ended up in was the nicest, which is really great, and it's sort of a perfect marriage, as much as a perfect marriage can be. We're in a space in the building that's in a corner so that we don't really interrupt anyone, as far as I know. There's cement floors. They were the only building that was excited about music, and only one of two that would even allow music without soundproofing. And soundproofing is totally cost prohibitive. I was fortunate in the sense that my father had a space upstairs, so we got kind of the family in, and basically he gave us the credibility. We went in, they looked at some spaces, and it wasn't an issue of like, so what are you going to do here? We said we're going to play classical music, and it's new classical music, of course, and I think they're probably surprised at what they ended up with, but we're really lucky to have it. But actually, beyond just being lucky, there's no way we could do the projects we do without having this resource. To rent rehearsal space in New York is impossible.
Yeah.
It's to do projects of any large scale with percussion, with electronics. I mean, complicated things with electronics, they need to be set up. They don't always work. They take time to set them up. If you start resetting them up, they're not exactly the same. I mean, it's really important that we actually have this space to do not just the number of projects we do, because we do a lot of projects and we can do them because the space is there. But again, it's also not free space. It's an expense, but it's something that we really prioritize to making sure that the ensemble has at its disposal. I'm the percussionist. All of my instruments are there. It's a huge luxury, but a total essential.